Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us here on Q2. I'm Zoe Zandora. We start tonight in national news where President Trump was notably absent from Senator McCain's memorial service. The commander-in-chief instead spent the day tweeting at adversaries from the White House. Here's Mola Lengi.
President Trump departed the White House this morning dressed in a polo shirt and cap, heading for his golf club in Sterling, Virginia, after a series of early morning tweets. The topics ranged from the ongoing Russia investigation to NAFTA negotiations. The president tweeted, "There is no political necessity to keep Canada in the new NAFTA deal. If we don't make a fair deal for the U.S. after decades of abuse, Canada will be out."
Because we can't have these countries taking advantage of the United States anymore. It's very simple.
President Trump touched on trade at a rally in North Carolina Friday night, just hours after trade talks with the Canadians broke off without reaching a deal. While those talks are set to resume next week, the president has expressed willingness to move forward with a new NAFTA, one that excludes Canada. The ongoing Russia investigation also drew the president's ire this morning, retweeting a report that accuses the FBI and DOJ of being corrupt. It comes as former Trump campaign foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos prepares for sentencing next week after pleading guilty to lying to the FBI about his role in attempting to arrange a meeting with Russian officials. A sentencing memorandum submitted Friday night says Mr. Trump nodded with approval about such a meeting. In an attempt to minimize Papadopoulos' role, the document states, "To say George was out of his depth would be a gross understatement." Papadopoulos is scheduled to be sentenced Friday. The special counsel is recommending up to 6 months in prison, but Papadopoulos is requesting probation in lieu of prison. Mola Lengi, CBS News, the White House.
Thank you, Mola. Senator John McCain, who was honored today with words of kindness and heartfelt tributes during a national memorial service in Washington, died last week of brain cancer. Nicole Killian reports from Washington.
Thousands bid farewell to America's maverick, Senator John Sidney McCain III, at the National Cathedral in Washington. President George W. Bush praised McCain's character and values.
Perhaps above all, John detested the abuse of power, could not abide bigots and swaggering despots. There was something deep inside him that made him stand up for the little guy.
President Barack Obama, who defeated McCain in the 2008 presidential election, reflected on the Arizona senator's love of country.
He was willing to buck his own party at times, occasionally work across the aisle on campaign finance reform and immigration reform.
Even though Senator McCain's funeral drew leaders from both sides of the aisle, at times it turned political with veiled criticism of President Trump, who wasn't invited.
The America of John McCain has no need to be made great again because America was always great.
The service weaved together themes that captured McCain's life, military sacrifice, and legacy. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, who met McCain after he was released as a prisoner of war in Vietnam, says McCain was a gift of destiny.
The world will be lonelier without John McCain.
Senator McCain will be buried during a private service on Sunday next to his best friend at the Naval Academy in Annapolis. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
Thanks, Nicole. In the Midwest, severe storms are threatening the region with severe flooding. This includes Wisconsin, which is still recovering from a trail of damage left by heavy rains over the past 2 weeks. Chris Martinez has more on the growing danger.
From the air, you can see the scope of the devastation. Days of heavy rains forced Wisconsin's Baraboo River out of its banks, leaving parts of Sauk County underwater, with forecasters warning of more to come.
We actually got a little choked up, and then of course we saw the National Guard out helping. So thank God for them.
At least 9 counties in Wisconsin are under a flood warning or watch. Parts of the state getting drenched with more than 14 inches of rain in just 2 weeks, the second wettest August on record. The governor declared a state of emergency.
Over the last week, I've hugged a lot of people and I can feel the trembling.
Heavy rain is also soaking Pennsylvania. Flash flooding there swept this semi off the road near Harrisburg and caused this street to collapse. In Wisconsin alone, floods have caused an estimated $50 million in damage so far. That number, like the waters in some areas, now rising by the hour. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
Now joining me here is meteorologist Connor Pregitzer to talk a little bit of weather.
Yeah, I mean, here we are. It's September 1st. What happened to summer? I
don't even know.
I can't believe that it's gone, but we're actually counting down the days now almost until fall. If you're like me, you love fall. You're not too sad about it. I think we got a lot of nice weather in between now and then. So we look at the fall equinox comes on September 22nd. That's the official start of fall. We're a few weeks away from that. And we're looking at our daylight times, currently losing about 3 minutes of daylight every day. Total going to be about an hour between now and then. It's crazy to think we are that close to it. Our almanac from yesterday, looking at our sunset, or from today, pardon me, our sunset 7:52 p.m. Again, by the time is all said and done, by the autumnal equinox, we're looking at about an hour, so likely somewhere around the 6:50 mark. Today we had a high temperature of 83, above our seasonal high. So you know what, we have some really nice weather to start off this fall season, and there's more of it in store, especially for your long weekend here. I'm going to break down the full forecast coming up here in just a little bit.
Thanks, Connor. That good weather was in Red Lodge today. 1,200 runners and walkers laced up their sneakers for the 15th annual Red Lodge Fun Run. The run features a 10K, 5K, and walking section where runners fly through the streets of Red Lodge and continue on Sky Run Road before turning around to make their way back into town to the finish line. The run is celebrating 15 years of giving back to the Red Lodge community. All the proceeds from the Fun Run are donated back to 61 charities and organizations within the Red Lodge community. The Fun Run has raised a total of $2.3 million for charities in Red Lodge through the years.
The one unique thing about the Fun Run is it's very collaborative, and by raising funds together, it helps us to get to know each other more. Even though it's a small community, you don't normally see each other. And so what it does is it builds collaboration throughout the entire year, which is one of the really big things about what makes Red Lodge special, is everybody working together for community. So that's why we do it.
Some more fun in the outdoors this Labor Day weekend. Many enjoyed the tradition of Burn the Point in downtown Billings, and today the event finished with the classic car show. Burn the Point's largest ever car show brought out about 300 cars. There was such a great turnout this year. The show ran out of room on the lawn, so some even had to park on the pavement of the carnival area. People from all over Montana and out of state come to Billings for this parade, the car show, and swap meet.
This weekend, I seen more cars and we're in Billings that I've never seen that live in Billings. People either built cars or purchased them in the last years. This is the biggest event year-wise we've ever seen for new cars. It was great. That's the fortunate part for me and Dan. I know the cars, he knows the people. All our families are involved, and we have a lot of friends the same way, that it's a real big issue. And this is a special weekend. I see guys here that I went to high school with. Very rewarding growing up in Billings.
100 car owners received prizes today, and there's no top prize. The trophies are from the sponsors who pay for the trophies and pick their favorites. Players at the University of Montana are dedicating today's game to supporting the victims of sexual assault. MTN's Lauren Heiser found out more about the pledge they made and the woman who helped inspire them to make it.
In 1998, Brenda Tracy was drugged and gang raped by 4 men. 2 of those men were players from Oregon State University. Since then, she has traveled the country encouraging coaches and teams to sign a pledge to acknowledge that they should be held accountable for their behavior. Here in the Hall of Champions at the university, the records set by players are celebrated. But with Tracy's movement, she says that it's about more than just setting records. It's about setting the expectation that sexism, violence, and sexual assault will not be tolerated in our community.
All of our athletes know that their eligibility is attached to their grade. And because of this, they know what classes they need to take, they know what grades they need to make to remain eligible. And all the people around them know what they need to do to stay eligible. Well, what if they knew their behavior mattered? And if I do this behavior, then I'm going to get kicked off the team or I'm going to lose some eligibility.
Last semester, Tracy spoke to the University of Montana athletes, and now the department has decided that they want to get behind this movement.
The pledge is not a contract. It's not a binding contract. But it's an accountability tool It's a way for a coach to stand in front of the room and have a piece of paper that says, I'm drawing a line in the sand, I'm setting an expectation for you, I'm attaching your eligibility to behavior, which is really important.
By signing, players acknowledge that being a part of a team is a privilege and not a right, and that as leaders in the community, they are held to a higher standard. Eric Tabor is the Assistant Sports Information Director for football and men's basketball. He said that the decision to stand with the Set the Expectation movement is one that the department was proud to make.
It's not something that starts at the beginning of the game and ends at the final whistle. It's something that, we as a department and as a university believe in year-round and want to promote year-round.
Tabor said it's not just about encouraging this message at home, but also in the places that they plan to travel this season.
We believe in it so much that even like when we go on the road to North Dakota, we're going to be partnering with them when they do their Set the Expectation game to wear stickers on our helmets to show solidarity for it, even when we're in Grand Forks.
In Missoula, Lauren Heiser, MTN News.
And Lauren also says you can support this movement by wearing teal and purple to the Grizz games. For more information about which games have been specifically selected to honor this movement can be found on the Grizz Athletics website later on this season.